It's very important. When God calls, the first thing he does is equipment. He will equip you. And that's what you are doing now. You are receiving equipment. After equipping, he will now send you. Yeah. Now, when God sends you, wherever he sends you to, he will provide for your survival there. There's no, that's why there are a lot of people, they are going someplace, they are starting saying, God has sent them. I'm not too sure about that. If God has sent you, he will provide. There's no way God will send you. God is not so wicked like that. When he sends you, he provides for you. Yeah. So we need to understand that God has called us to be with him. Please, I beg you, let's spend time with God. Listen to this. Now, how do we spend time with God? Number one, write it down. How do we spend time with God? Number one, through waiting on him. Through waiting on him. Through waiting on him. You must wait on God. Sometimes you just stay in a place where nobody will distract you and you tell God, Father, I'm waiting on you. I am here because I want to have a conversation with you. Waiting on God. Just wait on him. Number two, spending time in prayer. Spending time in prayer. Spending time in prayer. And then number three, spending time in studying the word. These are the major things we do when we are waiting on God. Sorry, these are the major things we do when we are with God. It's very important. All right, so let's go on with the assignments. Now, in Genesis chapter 45, verse 7, we saw that God had a specific assignment for Joseph. Listen, everybody sitting here is called. Everybody is called. Now, not that alone, but in the New Testament, everybody is called. Everybody is called. It is in the Old Testament that God chooses certain people we call prophets. Now, in the Old Testament, there's nothing like apostle or evangelist. There's nothing like that. We only had prophets. Yeah, the major and the minor. We only have prophets. But in the New Testament, everybody, we call it all-inclusive calling. God has called everybody. In the book of 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5 and 9, we confirm that. 1 Peter chapter, can you read it for us? 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5. Let's read the 5 first, and then we go to the 9. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, and then we go to the verse 9. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5, and then we go to the
also, as living stone, are built up a spiritual house.
Okay.
And holy priesthood.
And holy priesthood.
To offer up spiritual sacrifice.
To offer up spiritual. So now he said you also. So it means that God is using us to build his house on earth. Now, what is the house we are talking about? We are talking about the church. So we are the church, not this building. No. We are the church. We are the church. So God is using us to build his own, country on earth. So we are the church. So it is true that people will come to know God. That is why it is an error for you to say you are a man of God or a woman of God and you don't do evangelism. Hey, my brother, when you die, you can't go to heaven. You have to be careful. I'm telling you. Listen, there are a lot of pastors that don't do evangelism, especially prophets. They will never do evangelism because they don't understand why God has called them. And I thank God you are here today. Yeah, because requisite wisdom you need to be effective will be given you. I'm telling you. Now let's go to the verse 9 of 1 Peter chapter 2. Verse 9. It confirms what I'm saying. Verse 9. But
you are a chosen generation.
You are a chosen generation.
A royal priesthood.
Now, do you know what it means to be a royal priesthood? Continue, please.
A royal priesthood. An holy nation.
An holy nation.
A peculiar people.
Wow.
That used
wow.
to show forth
wow.
the praise of him who has called you out of darkness.
Too much powerful scripture.
Into his marvelous light.
You see who we are? You see, so through us, the world will know God. Through us. Through us. That's why he has called us from the darkness. Now, God has called us to be light to the world. So through us. So if somebody see, can you tell me your name again? If somebody see Nicholas, like you are looking for Jesus. When you see Nicholas, say, I've seen Jesus. That's okay. I don't need to go and look for. This is Jesus. That is how God wants us to be. Yeah. That is why God wants all of us to project